Julia Sweeney played mom with Phil Hartman, with the whole Matt Foley's down. So he's been drinking coffee for the last 4 hours.
Yeah.
And she was mentioning how she loved having a front row seat to Chris Farley's motivational speaker for that sketch.
Oh, for sure.
But she said, if you go back and watch, they cut around me because I was laughing.
She was the wife of Phil Hartman
Yeah.
in the sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she didn't have much, but they cut around her. And she's like, I felt bad for laughing so hard, but when Chris Farley's doing his thing in front of you, you can't help it.
She was in an interview semi-recently. Maybe it was Mark Maron.
It's just
But it was fun to hear from her again. It had been a long time. It's been a long time since
should do some
rock and roll.
They should do some deep cuts for hosting on SNL.
They should.
Like bring back Jim Brewer.
Ooh, good call.
That would be fun. He doesn't want to do it because he's like, yeah, I did what I did. I'm kind of done with it. Whatever.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh,
Lagunitas.
Hazy Wonder.
Hazy Wonder, which I'm assuming is the name of that dog.
Oh, probably. Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were just showing me.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I bought 2 of them.
Nice.
One for me, one for you.
All right.
So, yeah, Lagunitas, Hazy Wonder.
Hazy Wonder.
Definitely not a sponsor of this podcast.
Take 2.
Here we go.
Boom.
What do you think?
Aromas.
Not bad. This is courtesy of our local, where'd I go? Fairway.
Far away. I've been buying some weird beer at
I think you mean
Hy-Vee.
weed beer.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. That'd be fun. Just to sip. I don't know if that's a
Well,
thing.
just infuse whatever with CBD.
Yeah.
And you talk about kicking back and chilling out.
Or THC. And
There it is. We had a not long conversation, but we did have a conversation about drugs with Kara this weekend in the van. That Leia and Sam were both watching. Oh, what were they watching? Yesterday we were in Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know that. Nobody else knows that.
Ooh.
Well, like 3 people know that.
Surprise.
On the way there and on the way back, the kids wanted to watch Darkwing Duck
Ooh.
on the player.
Darkwing Duck.
Let's get
Oh
dangerous.
my God. That was right. I can't remember if that was before school or after school. But anyway, so they're watching it.
It had to have been after school because
Yeah.
I think I watched it.
Okay.
And I didn't do anything before school.
Fair.
But definitely different years, though. Anyway, I couldn't find it. So I dug into my drawer out there. And in the last, not the most recent 4K release, but the one before that, they released a box set of Back to the Future.
Ooh.
And in that set, they finally released for the first time ever all of the animated series of
Aha.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
So we took along that cartoon.
Sweet.
They ended up doing 26 episodes.
Ooh, boy.
And so Sam and Leia started watching those in the van. Sam loved it. Leia a couple times took off her headphones and said, I'm done watching this.
Oh.
And we said, that's fine. You don't have to watch it. And eventually she put her headphones back on. So it must, but they go all over the place. In one of the episodes, it's like back in time for pirates, back in time for dinosaurs. They go into the future. It takes place after part 3. So, but it has to be pretty close to after part 3. I'm guessing because Marty's still kind of a teenager in it, but Doc and Clara have their 2 kids, Jules and Vern.
That's right.
So they are the ones that are kind of up to no good in the show.
Oh, boy.
And Einstein's still there.
Huh.
It's kind of a big deal.
Einie.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So anyway, we did that. I forget why I brought that up, but
I remember watching a couple episodes
oh yeah.
of those.
Oh, that's right. I was going to talk about the drug talk.
Let's do drugs.
That's what let's do drugs.
Yeah.
Let's do drugs, everybody.
Hey, that's our new iPod. Let's do drugs. Yeah.
Whatever. Yes. We talked to her in the car because I think it was last year she was a part of a DARE program. And it was kind of funny going to that. It's very traditional. It's exactly how you remember it. She was part of a class of kids that graduated from this course that they had, and it was all very nice. But she didn't really understand that there were different classifications of drugs,
Yeah.
as it were. And so we started talking to her. I forget how it even got brought up. Something about, oh, I've been talking with my Aunt Kim recently, and she has a farm down in Oklahoma, and they are hoping to get into the
Tater tot business.
the tater tot business.
The tater
They're
tot.
big fans.
It's a Weird Al reference for
of
people.
the tots.
I'm not crazy. That's
It's true. So she's got her farm down there, and they're wanting to get into the CBD and cannabis business. And she reached out to me recently about me heading up their basically all their promotional stuff and doing all of their work online in order to get the word out there about it. And I'm not in that business, but I know some things, and I know some things about advertising.
Right.
So we had a long conversation about that, trying to figure out what would be best and whatever. So we were discussing that, and I think Kara got wind of it. And so since she was listening to our conversation, we felt that, she's 12, we can have a conversation with her about this stuff and explaining how I think we did a little bit of compare and contrast to alcohol and how it's actually way better for you than alcohol. But they're both things that change your state of mind.
Yeah.
And it can alter the way that you think. But one of them clearly is less lethal than the other.
Right.
Like if you have too much or whatever. But then like Becky was saying, no matter what it is that you're doing, whether it's booze or drugs, well, marijuana, we definitely made clear that like coke and heroin and methamphetamines and all of that were not great. And then we talked a little bit about pills and opioids and so it was an interesting conversation. And it's like she's been told all of this stuff in school, and she didn't live life enough yet to figure it out on her own this stuff. So it's like we're trying to tell her it's not that what your school is saying is bad. It's just that they have a more traditional way of thinking, and they want to ingrain into all the students there that all drugs are bad.
I was wondering about that though. Fun fact, I still have my Dare shirt, but
I had a great gray one, and I was trying to move us out of the farm that we were living on. We were only there for like a year, living on a family farm, and a member of her family, and it was a nice transition for us. But then when we were trying to leave, I couldn't get her uncle to help me move something downstairs. He was too busy for me or whatever, so I ended up trying to do it by myself. I ripped a fucking hole in the corner. It was a great shirt.
That's the worst.
There's not a lot of shirts from the 90s that hold up well. That was awesome.
They don't. I mean, then you got to watch it. You got, for those stupid little mistakes that you don't even think of, that a nail gets like fucking A, man.
Yep,
whatever.
It just caught it right on the wall and ripped it.
Stupid.
I was angry.
I still have my T-shirt sitting around, which is funny, and that's curious to see. I guess it's still around. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's curious to see if they still are like hard pressed on, like, for as much as it's changed for marijuana.
Yeah.
That Dare hasn't like shifted somehow.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe it's hard to teach.
Because what are you going to do if you have a Dare program in a state that weed is legal? You know?
Well, it's going to happen. It's probably happened.
But they also talk about cigarettes being like cigarettes are. That's one
of the things that Becky said to her. You know, that 100% never smoke cigarettes. They're way worse for you. And then I elaborated and said they have things in them that make you want to smoke more.
Right.
You're going to become addicted with this thing. And as far as I'm concerned, in my knowledge, there's no addictive tendencies that come out of weed, right?
Not typically. I mean, know one circumstance.
You might, really?
Yeah, there was a guy that was in my brother's grade that was just super stoner I mean,
Okay.
nothing. It happens. But it was to the point where like his dad caught wind of it, and then he was addicted to marijuana, and that was a big deal for him. So I'm assuming he's doing well. I don't know. He's kind of distant, but I knew him.
He was
enough.
he was legitimately addicted to smoking pot.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a thing or if that was, but I'm hearing this information when I was probably
Is there? I'm going to sound
14. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to sound like an idiot here for a second. But is there a difference between being addicted to the drug and addicted to what the drug does for you? Because
That could be it.
cigarettes don't necessarily do much for you. It can relieve some stress, but it's the nicotine
Get you
that
going.
you get addicted to. Now, what is it in weed that would be
It could just be
addictive? It would be the fact that it,
the feeling of it.
chills
Could
you
be.
out, calms you down.
And people who have high addiction, like the disease of addiction, might, be more prevalent in this person.
Yeah.
So it's kinda,
That's true.
Luckily,
I don't know. I need to do more research. We need to do more research before we do a episode about drugs because we are the go-to. I see what you did there. We are the go-to podcast for all things drug related.
Welcome. Right? I don't know.
Go figure. Yeah. So we talked to her about that in the car, and I knew that it was going to be confusing for her a bit because, like I said, it was just last year that she was an elite member of this DARE program that they had. And it's very black and white with them. Just don't touch drugs. Which, I mean, of course, if you're 12, you shouldn't touch anything,
Right.
obviously. But it's also part of their agenda to, if you see something, say something, and that drugs in general are bad. So if you see somebody that's doing this, they are not necessarily a good person, or they're lost, or they need to find their way. And it's not the case when it comes to
Right. Which
all
can
of
be
it.
kind of confusing too, because like later in life, the last, I don't know, handful of years, there's nurses out there on social media
Yeah.
that are saying, we need to know what drugs you're doing. Like, we're not here to bust you. We're here to know what's in your body so we can adjust it and help you. Tell us what the fuck you're on, and it's
Yeah.
okay. So there's that stigma too of like, tell us what you're doing, or or those questionnaires. I've gone into those situations, and they're like, okay, yeah, you taking drugs? I'm like, well, I'm on Xanax and this and that for cancer, and then it's do you take any street drugs? I'm like, nah. Just like I don't know how to answer that.
From which street?
Sesame Street.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're colorful.
I know, right?
See lots of colors.
Big Bird's really nice. But I don't know. I think I've heard other cases where people are a little more honest about it, but then I'm like, meh, I'll just keep saying no. Like, I don't know.
Kara will eventually, I'm guessing, be a good candidate for CBD and the gummies because she experiences anxiety like I do. And that's one of the best things out there. When you just have like a CBD gummy or whatever, and you don't deal with the THC, when they, however the hell they do it, where they filter all that out, it really is helpful. I've got the 50 milligram gummies from, CBD MD, I think it is.
That's right.
And pop 2 of those.
Yeah.
It's just chill out. And it's not even like, it's not that noticeable that it changes you. You just end up kind of settling in your couch a little bit more. And, I wouldn't do it if I'm headed to a job or something like that.
Right.
But if you need to kind of take the edge off when you get home or whatnot, if you've got the day to relax and chill, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't even know, just because it is so subtle, I don't even know how long it lasts.
Yeah. I don't know. I've had
Now,
it before, and I was like,
other edibles, you could tell
Yeah,
exactly how long it lasts.
No kidding.
Because of that THC.
Yeah.
And that stuff is,
Powerful.
yeah, that'll mess you up. If he's listening, William, remember that time you drugged me on my birthday? Good times.
That was the worst. It was fun, but it was the worst.
Well, don't get me wrong. It's on him, but it's also on me, because at what other point in my life have I had somebody hand me some sort of gummy candy thing that looks like, I think it was a spider. And I was just so busy. You remember, we were getting that room ready for my birthday.
The story of it is amazing. Within 24 hours, we flipped the room into a projector room.
Yeah. So at the bar in Ames, timeout, there was a room in the back that was just filled with shit. It was everything left over from every little bit of construction and all of the garbage that we had, and we shoved it back into this room that is what, 20 by 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
Around that.
Maybe your living room.
Maybe even longer than 20.
Ish.
Yeah.
But we found a spot for every fucking thing.
I know. There was sawdust all over the floor, stuff that, like lumber that had been used and hadn't been used. There was an old entertainment center in there. There was TVs, cords, couches, all of this shit. And within, like you said, 24, maybe 36 hours, we had the idea to get this room ready for my birthday party. And we did nothing but work on that. You left to go to work.
Yeah.
And then came back
And did it
after that.
Yeah. And we painted the walls.
Yeah.
And we
So
did it all.
the night that
We should have been on HGTV.
I know,
for
right?
fuck's sake.
we ended up, this is making me burp a lot. Thank you, Hazy Wonder.
Sir burps a lot.
Sir, that's me. We did so much stuff in that room. Not only that, but William helped me. It had to have been one of those nights beforehand, helped me put up the projector.
Yeah.
And so we got a shelf up there, mounted a projector. The projector projected an image from a 360 so we could play like Guitar Hero and shit onto this wall on the other side of the room. And it was set up as such that the projector was so high that you could stand X
Pretty
amount
close.
of feet in front of this huge wall that's playing Guitar Hero, and it wouldn't block the screen. God, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
And then it wasn't too long. It was maybe 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like it was maybe 11. I don't know. But it was like, it was late, but it wasn't too late.
Right.
You know? And then all of a sudden you're just fading away on the couch.
Well, okay. So here's what happened.
You're just like, well, there goes the birthday boy.
There was only a couple people there, and William gives me this thing. I should have known better. I was just so busy and I was caught up in doing things.
Yeah.
And he handed me this thing and he did this cheers thing. And also he had no idea that my tolerance was like 1/3 of his.
Like,
and I took a whole, I've never since then taken a whole thing of anything, like with the exception of those CBD gummies.
Right, yeah.
Saying CBD fast is weird.
CBD.
CBD. Yes. So he gave that to me. We did this thing. I eat it, and I just continue living my life. And as the night goes on, people start showing up, and then it was a great time. I think everybody was having a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
We were having a good crowd, a good turnout, and the bar was open as well.
Yeah, we brought in our own food.
We did.
And like
Well, but that's the thing. We ordered pizza
Yeah.
from Great Plains.
That's right.
And that's where it started getting weird because I'm sure William's listening to this. It's hilarious. I love you, buddy. So he got wind that we had ordered pizza and I was going to go get it. And he said, "You're not going to get pizza." And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this pizza." And he said, "No, you're not." I was just like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I'm going to get this pizza."
It's a block away.
And then lo and behold, enough time had passed that I started feeling a little strange, and it was very different from any other type of feeling I had had before. I ended up, for a while, I was making conversation with people. But then it turns into that thing where you are trying to have a conversation with somebody, but then you start feeling like you're either 2 steps ahead of the conversation or 2 steps behind
and you're like,
of the conversation.
Are they catching on?
And then you're like, you're laughing at a joke, but you're not sure if they can tell that you're forcing it because you're constantly thinking about how incredibly high you are.
Yeah, right.
And it's not great. I remember having some conversations with people that came in that I was really excited that they were there, but I was not in a state of mind to
tuned in.
Well, and I was thinking about that, and
you're also being host too.
I'm doing that, and I'm actively not trying to look like an idiot.
Right.
Which, when you get a level of high, it's very easy to do if other people are not on your level.
Right. Crap.
And then it started to really kick in. And so I sat on the couch next to our friend Jamie. And I think I said something like, so I'm going to lay on your shoulder for a while. And that's where I remained awake for the most part, but in and out. And I just had to lay there with my eyes closed. And I think that happened at about 11.
Yeah.
And not only was it that I had taken that gummy, but I was up so late the night before getting that room ready for my birthday.
Like,
what are you going to do?
Yeah, I know. But it's your birthday. What are you
Happy birthday to me.
It's just like, yeah, we did some cool stuff. And then we had our private viewings for the last episodes of Game of Thrones.
We did do that.
So we still brought in, like, it was fun because no one was at the bar. And we brought in our own food. And people had, taco pizza. Oh, I made it. It was just like, we had stadium seating. Because we took a couch and put it on 2x4s.
Oh, that's
to
right.
make it a little bit higher. And we're like, this is pretty good. We had like 17 people in there.
And then, of course, it was either the first episode we watched there or the second one we watched there. But it was that famously dark episode from the last season.
We couldn't see shit.
And we thought that it was just us at the time.
Yeah, well, like,
but then
the
lo
projector.
and behold, even everybody out there was complaining on their TV. And then there was some dude out there that put it into video editing and brightened the entire episode.
Great.
So that way people
like,
could see
what
the fuck. It was a terrible episode to try on a projector.
We thought it was the projector, and we're like, God damn, I don't know who got killed. Who was it? I don't know. It's like,
what is happening?
And then we had the pools. That made it more fun to watch because we all had a character that we picked.
We had a fantasy football, but for Game of Thrones thing.
So my guy.
And I had Daenerys.
My guy, who did I have? He didn't die until like maybe second to last episode.
Okay.
He went pretty far, but then I'm like, well, there goes. All right. Yeah. So I didn't win it.
Spoiler, Daenerys doesn't make it either.
No one really does.
Jon Snow.
Okay. That's true. And then like the fucking coffee, like, like there was the water. There was one where it was like the Starbucks cup.
Yes.
And then
that was on
it's like, what? How did we
That was in the last season, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then the very last episode, apparently, like there was like Aquafina like water bottle.
Oh, really?
That was, like right here.
They were really letting it slip.
And they were just like, no one really caught it until after, like, oh fuck, yeah, I'm sure the actors were just like, oh, let me drink real quick.
I wonder if they went back to digitally remove those for like the DVDs or Blu-rays.
I hope not, because that'd be like so dope. You're like, yep, there it is. Yeah,
that's funny. Oh man!
So that was a fun. I'd never watched any, none of the Game of Thrones until the very last season.
Really?
So, yeah, that was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the fun part because I'm just like, all right, I'll play this game. It made it more fun.
So you're telling me that's a bad guy, right?
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
It was a good show.
Yeah.
I couldn't have read the books. We know people that read the books,
God,
I couldn't. I can try to read, but to keep up with those
books, the detail and like who's dying.
Well, to keep up with that many characters.
Yeah.
And that many places that have weird fucking names. Now, if it existed in the world today and I could actually identify where these different places were, but to have this entirely fictional land.
Yeah.
There's no way I could remember all of that. I needed I needed a TV show.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, more visual.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was a fun one.
It was fun. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, we'll just go with it. It's like I just can't. I don't know. It's not my genre that I gravitate to. It's fantasy.
Yeah.
Typically. So I'm just like, whatever. I'll deal with it. But the weird part about how much I read is I'm working my way through Ready Player One. And I showed you.
You're like halvesies?
Yeah, but it took me like a year and a half just to get to half.
Is it a hard read?
It's an easy read. It's for me. It's like time and like my attention span too.
Yeah,
it's so stupid. So then I'm watching like videos of like what was it? T.J. Miller in interviews explaining like, oh, tell me about Ready Player.
He was on Instagram like today wearing a Ready Player One.
He has been recently for dates.
It was a hat for those of you that couldn't see me point to my hat.
Yeah, so he has big Ready Player One. So that's pretty cool. He's sporting that still, but he was saying he's like, yeah, no, it's an easy read, and he said, I read it in 4 hours.
Yeah,
like, Jesus, like
wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's a hefty book.
I thought there's a company out there. How are we doing over here? Oh, we're good.
Okay,
good. Technical stuff. Don't worry.
Beep.
There's a company out there, the Foil something or other, that I saw that they were releasing a special edition Jurassic Park book that has some pictures scattered throughout that some artist put together. They almost look like they're vector files or something. But I thought about getting that and reading that with Sam, or really any of the kids that want to listen. I think that would be fun. My friend Paul, who we all know, he started reading books with his kids, and I was like, it sounds like a good idea. A long time ago, I bought this book of the Grimm fairy tales.
Huh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Think so.
Yeah. And I bought it, and I was thinking that I would someday read it with Kara, and I never did, and now she's 12 and she wouldn't give a shit. But I feel like if we go back to something like Jurassic Park, Sam might be interested, and we could just read a little bit at a night. And if you toss in some picture, he's 7, some pictures here and there, that would be a good get.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
But that particular book, because it's like a leather bound with pictures inside, it's like $60 for a book. Yeah. When I have, that's the thing, in here in the other room, I've got a first edition of it.
Nice.
But it's like, do I want to fuck with it?
Yeah, with kids. And,
It's weird because the pages, like the edges of the pages, they're all like rigid and weird. It's not a flat book. I don't know if that's the way it used to be, or I don't know dick about books.
No,
but it doesn't look as clean and flat as a lot of like your Ready Player One.
Yeah,
like the pages are like
flat.
This.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Some have that texture.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
What was the point of that?
Make it look more like you're in the story of like, oh, I'm touching these fun textured.
Is that an actual thing, or did you just make that up?
I'm making it up, but I'm sure it can't hurt for someone who's like judging a book by its cover.
I was almost on board with that.
Well, think about it. If you're judging a book by its cover and then you have some extra level of detail that kind of makes it go with the story.
Yeah, but they did that in 92, 91, whenever the fuck, because as soon as that book came out, Universal and Spielberg had the rights to it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Spielberg didn't have the rights to it, did he? Or is it Universal?
Probably Universal.
Who knows? But I'm going to go grab that book. I'm going to show you.
All right.
You ready?
Story time. There we go. Show and tell.
Story time.
Woohoo. This is where we finish all of Jurassic
Tell
Park.
them what's up, Joe.
Yeah, all right. So, we finish that beer later, but here we go. Woohoo. That's first edition.
This is the first edition.
Oh boy.
I don't buy a lot of books, but I found this one and I was very excited about it. And it came with the Lost World as well.
Oh,
look at that.
Yeah, I see.
So what's up with that?
I think it's just preference. I was picturing something different.
But that's a thing though.
It's just a thing. I mean, look at books.
It's really, I just don't understand. Or would each one be? No, each one wouldn't be a chapter. No. Would it?
I think it's just texture and something different.
It's just, it feels rough and strange.
Rough and strange.
Did you know that Michael Crichton was born in Chicago in 1942? He was educated at Harvard College and the Harvard Medical School. What? He was? I mean, I knew that. And in 1969, he was a postdoctoral fellow at the Salk Institute in La Jolla, California. His novels include The Terminal Man, The Great Train Robbery. Wow, none of those were as good as this. Boo. Congo. He did Congo.
Yeah.
Remember that movie?
Not really, but I know of it.
I remember that it existed.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it.
What if Jurassic Park was directed by John Hughes?
Could you imagine?
Like coming of age dinosaurs.
Well, Laura Dern would be played by Molly Ringwald.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's go down this road. Who would have been Sam Neill?
Probably
Anthony Michael Hall?
Yeah.
Or Judge what's his name?
Yeah. Judge.
Judge. What's his name?
I don't know, but I know it's Judge.
Echo. Who was in the cast of The Breakfast Club?
The cast of The Breakfast Club includes Emilio Estevez,
Okay.
Paul Gleason,
Okay.
Anthony Michael Hall,
Oh, yeah.
John Capellas,
Okay.
Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald,
Judd Nelson.
and Ali Sheedy.
Judd Nelson.
There we go.
That's who we're. I think I went Judge Reinhold is
Okay.
who, but J-U. You see what I did there?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you think that Judd Nelson would have been
This would have been a weird movie. But
Right.
It would have been so cool. Yeah.
or maybe he would have been the Goldblum character.
Yeah, he would be. A little off, a little different,
Right.
eccentric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Emilio could have been.
Sam. Yeah.
And I guess they don't necessarily need to be from The Breakfast Club.
No.
Let's get, who could Joe Pesci be? Because he was in Home Alone.
Probably one of the Raptors with like attitude. Hey, what are we doing? You eat Jello around here? Come on.
We should do that. We should take
Let me sneak around.
we should take that clip from Jurassic Park, the kitchen clip, and
Yeah.
every time it shows the raptor,
Joe Pesci.
just insert a Joe Pesci quote.
What are you doing hiding in the cupboards over there? It's like, she's sitting there.
Okay, well, first, in order to make this happen, we need to get some original dialogue from Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
So we're going to need Joe Pesci to go on Cameo, and that's going to be our request. Would you please say these lines for us?
That's the way to do it.
And then he'd do it.
Yeah.
$120. Come on, Joe
That's
Pesci.
fair. That's fair.
Get on Cameo.
Oh, that'd be so dope.
So anyway, there's this.
Once upon a time.
But yeah, I thought if I'm going to get it, I wanted to get a first edition.
Yeah.
And apparently that means that this book is falling apart.
What's that really mean when it's like, what's the difference of a first and second edition? Like what they do, what I don't know those differences.
I think it's just, you were out there first and you snagged an early copy. I don't think that this is really worth a ton of money, but it's definitely worth more.
Sure, but what's
than
the difference
others.
though? So if you get a second edition, what's the is there details that are different or
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's just when it was published.
oh, just
When
like an early...
yeah, when they push it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they would have released the hardcover first. So this would have been one of the first books out on the shelves.
Copy, yeah.
Yeah. And then as time goes on, you would, a lot of them would probably get thrown away or ruined. And I don't know.
They make a mix.
Did you guys see we got some shelves?
We do.
Look at this shit.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Yes, that's huge.
There we go.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Hey, there's TJ Miller.
Hey,
look
we
at
were
that.
just talking about him.
Yeah, I got a
Hey.
picture with him.
That's cool.
Here, for anybody that is watching on YouTube, I'll put it up nice and close.
Yes.
So you can see it. We have, here we go.
TJ Miller
Me and TJ Miller.
in the green room of the Des Moines comic.
Yeah, and he wrote a thing. It says, "Thanks for the Facebook conversations."
Yes.
Because I reached out to him on Facebook, and he did respond.
He
as
responded
well,
to me a few times from
but
Twitter.
he, Facebook was doing this thing, and I hope they're done doing it because it was really fucking stupid. You would go to look at somebody's profile, and it would pop up like with a window, and it would give you recommended options of what you should say in a message.
Oh, yeah.
But then the way that it was set up is that you would accidentally hit these things. So I didn't mean to send him a message.
Yeah.
But it did. And then I just looked like an idiot.
Hmm.
So I responded after the message saying, I didn't mean to send that, but now I guess I'm messaging you. and so we talked about that.
Oh,
when
fun.
when we were there.
He, I think I Facebooked him years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
And I think it was months. So I'm like, there's always a chance that someone's going to see it. But
For sure.
you're like, if they're going to respond, they're busy. I doubt it, whatever. So at one point I texted him saying, "Hey man, I'm a huge fan. Just keep doing what you're doing. I love your work." I mean, just very basic.
Yeah.
And then like 7 months later, like it was a while.
Yeah.
Where I'm sitting there at work and I was like, bzz, bzz, I'm like, fucking TJ, what?
Yeah.
So then I click on the bubble, and then it said something along the lines of like, Joe, oh my gosh, that's amazing, bro. Thanks for listening. And he was just like, you know what? Your name's Joseph, and that's what the J means in my TJ Miller name.
Oh,
It's Joseph. Like,
I didn't
what?
know that.
Yes, there's a couple times I've actually throughout, because before COVID, we had tickets to Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And I also had tickets to TJ Miller again because I wanted to meet him again in this capacity.
Yeah.
Because we were talking stand up, and it was before we started doing open mics, that I wanted to meet him again and just have that conversation of like, things are going well. And he retweeted, you know, you were helping me out with that.
That's right. We had a clip of you doing stand up.
Took it and retweeted it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
I forgot about that.
Like, that's amazing. Yeah. So I wanted to have like another conversation with him. And then it turned out that Joe Rogan changed his date a little bit. And he's, what was it? So it wound up being on the same day. So we were going to have different days of like a Joe Rogan night and a TJ Miller night.
Yeah.
And then it turned that they were actually on the same night. So I texted him like, do I see you or Joe Rogan? And he actually responded like a few days later. This is nuts. This guy's a movie star. He's like, okay, this is cool. This is cool. Like he's just, I guess he's down to earth or has the time to.
He's incredibly cool.
Do that.
And I'm surprised. I mean, he's done a lot of big movies, but I'm surprised he hasn't done more. And I look forward to seeing him doing
Yogi
more
Bear and
in the future.
Emoji Movie and like he's done
Office Christmas Party.
The Office. That was
a
so
big
funny.
one. Yeah,
I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, where he is the brother of Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Or wait, no,
or
he's not the brother.
He's
Jason Bateman. Is the brother.
He's like a coworker.
Yeah,
where he's like. We're totally not
gets
having
weird. If you guys haven't watched it yet, watch Office Christmas
Kate
Party.
McKinnon's in it.
We're coming up on Christmas.
Yeah,
Christmas movie
He's
time.
so funny because he's just like that one. I think that was in the. I think that was in the trailers where he's like, "We are totally not having a Christmas party. We totally are." What? No, we're absolutely not. It's totally on. Yeah, it's like just. I can guarantee you, nah.
Yep,
we're doing it. It's like what?
Yeah, buddy. I want to find that clip that you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you uploaded.
That was on Twitter.
Oh, it was on Twitter.
That was on Twitter. I pinned it. So if you find me on Twitter, that's it's pinned.
I think it's the last thing that you did on Twitter.
Well, I pinned it. So
so that pops up at the top.
That's the first thing.
So that's not the last thing.
Nope.
Nice. Oh, look at you. You post about our podcast.
Yeah.
Awesome. I didn't know that.
I'm like, whoever.
Back on March 7th when life was kind of normal.
That was
right?
before I knew I had cancer, man.
That was before everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that went down around March 18th.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, and then April 6th is when I was diagnosed.
Yeah.
Like, this is fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to play this.
Here we go.
How do I
hope it goes through this sound.
It's gotta go through, right?
Yeah. This would have been like 3 years ago.
Death. I think death is weird. Death is weird. Death is, I'm from Ames, and we had a building that was actually, it used to be Godfather's Pizza. And so it actually turned into a funeral home. So I just wonder from the people who were looking through that, and if they're walking through going, oh, ovens? Nah, we'll keep those. Did you say party room? Sold. Oh, we're putting in the drive-thru. Order up for Grandma. Ooh, that hit too hard.
That was my very first open mic.
That's great. There's some beard happening.
I'm working on
it. Don't do it again. Just please.
It's a fuck you to cancer.
Just do it for me. No, it's a fuck you to everybody that looks at you. Is what it is.
It sounds like a you problem.
This is good. It is a me problem, but you have to recognize that this beard made me sad. This beard is great. This beard it's nice.
It's a chemo beard.
I like it.
I haven't had a haircut in like 2 months.
This beard No.
That's my divorce beard.
Okay. Well,
Like,
as long as this is the divorce beard, so we're done with it.
Why?
I understand you're still divorced.
I can do whatever I want.
Yes, you can,
Yeah,
but just please don't.
All right.
Break time?
Break time.
Break time. We'll there it is. We'll be back after these messages. Well, just the one.
That's right. Touch me. What?
Just touch. Yeah, we put out an ad on the interwebs.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's been, I think I saw, it's only been up there a day or so, but it's been viewed many times. So
Yeah, I sent that to our friend Jenna, and she thought it was hilarious.
Oh, good.
She's like, yeah, touch me. Come on, do it. Do it. Nah. You'll like it, folks, I think.
anybody that hasn't seen it has no idea what we're talking about. And
And we're back.
we're back again. Guess who's back? Back again.
Yeah.
Opposite of import. No, that didn't work.
Yeah. Well, let's reach out to Eminem. See what ideas he has.
We want to use your song, but different.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas for free? And he's going to say, yeah, guys, here you go.
Boom.
Here's all these awesome lyrics.
Forget Ice Cube. I don't know. Straight out of Story. I've been here for years.
Do you call a rap song within a rap song, are they still referred to as lyrics? Because they feel way different than an actual
Rhymes?
sing song,
Well, you're just saying
a
words.
sung
that-
song,
If you look at just the lyrics of a rap album,
a sang song.
I'd say lyrics.
Yeah.
Rap is just talking fast. You're not really vocalizing.
It's interesting that then, I mean, it's still technically a song, but lyrics within an actual song that is sung by somebody, sung is a word, right?
Sure.
Okay, I felt like maybe that was one of those words that's not a
Sung,
word.
sang,
Yeah.
snuck, sneak.
Yeah. I feel like that then it's just weird that that would be lyrics, but then there's also lyrics to a rap song, but then you don't call poetry lyrics because it's never been in a song.
Or you can call them rhymes.
Unless they put poetry into a song and then does it become lyrics?
Probably. Or rhymes.
Yeah.
You know, you get to do the rhyme scheme. So I think you could probably
Yeah,
call
maybe
it rap song.
maybe they would just call it the rhymes. Well, but not all rap rhymes.
Not necessarily, but you get creative with it.
Yeah.
Or lay down the beats,
Lord knows I do.
right?
I get real creative.
Beats bad Dre.
I'm just saying, I feel like that's not classified the way that it should be.
It's not. Let's call someone up. Capitol Records. Where are we?
They're like, is this a joke? Because
No.
I'm going to hang up.
Oh,
Yeah.
click boo.
All right. What's been going on in that head of yours?
Well, you went to Minneapolis.
I did.
And you hit up a diner. I didn't know if you knew of this before or if it was suggested along the way.
I did. Which
Yeah.
part?
The bad waitress
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, I've been there about a dozen times
Okay.
now.
I didn't know if that was new to you or what, but you
No.
sent me one photo of like the wall art.
Wait, haven't you been there with me?
No. I have
Really?
not. No. Chicago, we went to a bunch of places in Chicago. But
I'm surprised you haven't been there with me.
No.
The next time we go up, we'll go.
yeah.
It's a great restaurant.
When we were up there, the last few times we've been up there, we've gone to like Electric Fetus and maybe, I don't know, we really didn't eat there, like we just kind of
We'd
hit
be
up
up there for concerts or something,
yeah,
right?
So we kind of hit up a couple places and then came home, but we never really spent.
If I get up there between the hours of 11 and 1, I will try to, which is typically how it works because the time that I would normally wake up and make an effort to get there
Yeah.
on time because, I like to sleep in a little bit longer. So I can get there and have like a late breakfast
yeah. Oh.
there and it's delicious.
So you had a breakfast burrito.
I did.
How was that compared to most stuff you've had? I guess.
Well, one of our favorite places to eat in Ames is about to be opening up again.
Grove?
Village Inn.
What?
Village Inn.
Village Inn. It is open.
It's open now.
Last Monday.
We're missing out.
Yeah.
Did they change the interior?
I don't believe so, because
Yeah.
there's a woman that is the manager there that posted on Ames People saying
Okay.
that it's open, and it was her and a couple of the employees of like, hey, I don't think they've
I'm
really
sold.
changed much. But if we can get that fucking Paula Dean,
Yeah.
there you go.
There was there's so much to explain here. If we can get that Paula Dean, people know exactly what we're talking about.
Right. So Village Inn, if you ever been,
I have.
they have
With you.
like poster sized plaques that have like quotes from like famous
Above some of the tables.
Yeah. So,
And there is one table in there that has a quote from Paula Dean.
and we're like, they kept this.
It's a little strange. I feel like not only did they keep it, but if I'm remembering correctly, they put it up after all of the
it,
stuff that she did.
Yeah, because they remodeled Village Inn at the
And
time.
they doubled down on the Paula Dean quote.
like,
And the
I don't-
quote's irrelevant. It's something
Yeah.
about putting in X amount of butter or whatever will make your food better. And
right.
I don't know, whatever. But we always request to sit at the Paula Dean table.
And it works.
And people are like, what?
we're
Like
like,
that poster. We want to sit underneath that. That's our table.
And it usually works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, when we would go to Village Inn, I would get their breakfast burrito. So I was immediately comparing the
Yeah.
two. And I think the one at Village Inn, nobody cares about this. I'm going to say it anyway. I think the one at Village Inn, they had like a sauce that would go in it. And the one at Bad Waitress really didn't have that. So I like without the sauce, and who knows how the hell they make their eggs at Village Inn. Maybe I don't know. I feel like the one that I had at Bad Waitress was better. I enjoyed it. It was thicker. They had some jalapenos in there. Now that I'm an adult, I decided that I'm an adult last week, and so I can have jalapenos in my breakfast burritos, and it was quite good.
Yes.
And then me and Paul, we got a caramel latte with breakfast. And then later on stopped by another coffee place. Shout out to Mugshots Coffee
Mugshots.
in kind of the middle of nowhere in the cities.
Huh.
And yeah, it was good stuff,
That's the way to do
man.
it. Yeah, yeah.
We had pumpkin spice.
Ooh.
You like pumpkin spice?
I haven't ordered it for a while, but I think it goes off my radar because it's seasonal,
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
haven't had one for a while. But yeah.
It's
Try to get
weird when coffee that you buy at the store tries to insert the flavor into the beans.
Yeah.
As opposed to, and I fell for it once, and I bought some beans that were supposed to have vanilla in it, and I immediately regretted that decision after I made it.
Yeah.
You're much better off putting the flavor in afterwards.
I agree.
I need to buy some of that. I forget the name of the brand, but the flavored syrup that you see everywhere. I need to get just to have it at the ready. White chocolate would be good. Whenever I get a cold brew, I do white chocolate with caramel.
Yep.
Just one pump of each because I don't want to be a fatty again.
Oh my God.
And I used to be.
Right.
We've discussed this. I don't want to be a fatty anymore. And no offense to any fatties out there. It's fine.
You live your life.
Yeah, you do you and be proud. However, I don't want to be that anymore. So I definitely need that. I need the white chocolate and caramel. And then when I get other coffee, I usually do like hot coffee. I'll toss in a pump of vanilla. And the place in Ames that I like to go to, it's nice because they have a homemade vanilla. And I like to pretend that that's healthier for me. So I get a pump of vanilla and then put in honey instead of using real sugar. I don't know why I'm telling people what I like for
you
coffee.
might get something.
But
in
if
the
you
mail.
bring me one,
That's how
now
it is.
you know.
Yeah.
So white chocolate, caramel, and some cream. And I only do cream in the cold brews
You're right. Kind
because it's a little strong.
little
So
bitter.
you need to, yeah,
Yeah.
a bit. That's what I had today. Because for some reason in November, we had a day that it was damn near 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Close to 70. It didn't quite hit it, but it was
I
close.
mean, when they say it's 70 in fall, it's 70 for like 45 minutes.
Right.
And then the sun.
But it
like,
was warm.
whoop.
Like
It was.
I had a light jacket on over my t-shirt and it was too much.
Ah,
Yeah.
gross. But
I chose poorly.
yeah. So yeah, Minnesota's pretty cool. But
It
yeah.
was cool.
Yeah.
And it was nice. I did go into at least one record shop.
Aha.
I did do that. Down in the valley. Down by the valley?
Down by the bay.
Down in the valley, I think is the name of the record shop.
Down in the valley.
They have not only records, but they have tons of like memorabilia from movies. They also have You Would Love It. They have a lot of incense there.
That'd be fun.
It definitely, the store smells of incense when you go in. So you walk in, they have, that's how we got on this topic, because we went to that store. And not only the stuff about my aunt and her farm that she has, but in that store, they had bongs.
Aha.
And so Kara was also asking Becky about that stuff.
Okay.
Like, is this stuff for drugs?
Tobacco.
And that's why, right. Yeah. Do you remember when they used to do that?
They still do.
Do they?
Because I bought my bong from
they
the
have
mall.
they have to say that it's a tobacco bong.
Well, I felt like a moron because I wasn't using the right terminology for them. So I just go,
It's fine. You're a person.
Can I, yeah, I'm looking at that cool looking bong. And then they're like, tobacco pipe. And I'm like, all right. I'm just like, so you put the weed.
But wait, it's still a bong.
It is. But that's more of a slang term.
Fuck that.
But they have to do it for a business purpose.
For a business purpose, they don't have to correct you.
I guess not.
Fuck
but
that.
It's like, I don't know. I don't
People
know what
are
it
dumb.
is.
You
Yeah.
can.
So I got corrected a
Okay,
couple times.
yeah, but
Like,
but legally, if I went into the Gap and I say I would like to buy this shirt that is clearly in support of the use of marijuana, are they going to correct me and say, no?
Well-
this shirt is not made to be worn while smoking marijuana.
right. But it's
Yeah.
also not a vice.
It's like who
ingest.
gives a shit?
Right. Yeah.
Just say I'm right.
Sure. And so I don't know. I just got like, I felt like a moron, like being corrected twice because I'm like, oh,
Yeah, but it was a bullshit correction.
yeah. Yeah.
It's clearly a bong.
Yeah.
It's still a bong if you put tobacco in it.
Right.
You could put fucking potpourri in it. It's still a bong.
That's pretty good. It's like,
Like
flowers.
you could though. I wouldn't necessarily. I don't know what that inhaling that would be like. Do you remember potpourri?
Still do.
Is it still a thing?
Yeah. Like,
People do that. Potpourri
yeah.
was replaced by those oil sticks
Oh, yeah.
there for a while.
Yeah.
I don't see those anymore.
I don't either.
What happened to that? One year I didn't know what the fuck to get my mom, so I got her one of those oil stick things.
There you go.
My mom and my stepdad, anything I get them, they don't fucking use. He waited a whole 2 years to put a golf bag that I got him on a garage sale.
Like, all right.
Like, really?
Thanks.
This old raggedy piece of shit, you don't like. I don't know why you're sentimental about it. And I got you this really nice golf bag. And then he put it on a garage sale that I was running for a day. 2 years later,
And he brings it in like, thanks.
it was just there.
Awesome.
It was like $150 for this golf bag. Sweet.
Great. I got a nice golf bag that,
I thought you were going to make that dirty.
yeah, I got a nice golf bag. So many dimples. Bright white.
I, for the longest time, would have to just borrow my buddies' golf clubs whenever we would go. It was Mike Endner,
Mike.
who was just here.
Hey.
And he would ask me to go play golf. And I'm like, I don't have shit, right? Like I used to.
Yeah.
And then other family members would use it after I was done with high school. Because for a minute there in high school, you could play golf.
Right.
And other sports to me were stupid and I couldn't do them. And I didn't care about them. So I played golf.
Yeah.
And that
Golf
was
is
it.
fun. If I don't keep score, but it's fun just to
I'm not
do.
sure it's fun,
I
but it's
like
fun
it.
to hang out.
Yeah. I like it.
Like I'm not good. And I think it might have been because of my glasses
Oh, that could be it.
and my astigmatism. I couldn't follow the ball.
Sure.
It's fucking. I don't understand people that can follow the ball.
Yeah.
In golf.
I'm like, where to go? You need a spotter just to be behind you.
Honestly, you
I
do.
I love the driving range.
And I never got to play glow in the dark golf. You remember those clear balls that you would put like a glow stick in?
Yeah.
I never got to play it.
Where would you play that?
Anywhere.
Anywhere?
Fucking
I've never played
anywhere.
That'd be fun.
It's a thing that people do. They exist. So ergo, people play this game in the dark.
we gotta do it.
It
So,
would be fun, right?
I bought so I bought some clubs back in high school from garage sales that people wanted. I have actually bought some that actually had the wood
Yeah.
on there, and my buddy who's actually into golf is like, "Can I try that?" I'm like, "Sure, whatever."
Nice.
And then he gave it a good whack, and he's like, can I trade you? Just like, but apparently,
And it was a garage sale find.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I had like almost a pretty good set.
Yeah.
Complete set. And then after prom happened.
Okay.
Where you do the gambling and then you get stacks of money. So we got money from gambling, and then after gambling was done, so we would measure our money in inches. So when you're doing the auction, you say, I bid 6 inches for that. They just call it that. It was weird. So there'd be an auction. So you get to scout out. There's like an Xbox. There's the big stuff, the small stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that golf bag looks pretty damn good. And I bid on it, and I won it. And I'm not much into sports, so people gave me some shit for it, And I'm like, well, if you had the fucking money for it, then it would be yours. I was like, you don't even golf. I'm like, you don't know that. So it's nice, and it's got the straps. It's got the little leany thing. So it's like, think of like your garbage can kind of thing.
Right,
so
yeah.
it sits down, and then automatically the little 2 prongs shoot out.
Yeah.
So we can just like hang like that.
Nice.
And I still have it. And it's fun that I always think of that, where everyone's like, you don't play golf. I'm like, well, you don't.
Why the fuck do you care?
Yeah, you should have bid on it. So
you know what I'm realizing? I don't like people. People say things, and I'm just like, stop talking.
Yeah, I've been getting to that point.
Don't talk to me.
Like,
Your point is invalid.
I got to the point where I was at Hy-Vee, and I get how everyone's trying to social distance and shit.
Yeah.
There's this one aisle. It was close to the aisle where we were shopping for the non-gluten stuff.
Do you remember when at Hy-Vee there was a helpful smile in every aisle?
Now everyone's like, where's the smiles?
They don't use that thing anymore, do they? Where there's a helpful smile in every aisle.
I haven't heard that for a very long time.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're slogan.
They killed it.
They probably. I think I see it on like
Trucks?
trucks.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I was thinking that too.
How would you like to be that guy? It's like you're with 4 people on the side of a truck.
I'd do it. I wouldn't even
then run into yourself.
I wouldn't even charge. I would dress up as a Hy-Vee big shot and get on that truck.
Right. It's crazy.
Just to put my face. even if it's just one truck.
You're right.
I'd do it.
So I'm sitting there, and it's kind of by the no one cares, but we were by the gluten-free section or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm coming out long ways, and there's like this is the main drag, so it's kind of coming off the main drag.
Okay.
There's like a woman there that actually works at Hy-Vee that's like stocking stuff. So she's opening up the door and like putting shit. She's doing her job. And that's like, for some reason, there's like 4 or 5 people wanting to go down the same aisle.
All right.
So we're all just like, boom, and no one knows what to do. So I just grabbed my cart and just went, wow, it's really congested. And I just fucking go through it. And it's just like, someone had to do something. So like, you acknowledge the problem. You kind of laugh about it, and just fucking people moved out of my way. Or I'm just like, wow, it's really congested, and just fucking walked away through the crowd. That was people moved. It was funny. It was like, well, how about you guys actually step up and do something?
Anybody want to help with the situation?
Yeah.
No
one did.
Well, I guess I'll take care of it.
And everyone was sitting there just like, oh, what do I'm like, fucking go. Just like,
People are dumb, Joe.
I know. And it's so fun.
Here's the thing. If you go out on a regular basis and you don't encounter dumb people, there's a chance you might be the dumb person.
Right? I'm like, uh-oh.
I hate to say it this way, but if you go out on a regular basis and you encounter no dumb people,
who do you think that is? So it's almost better if you are frustrated, because then you know it's not you. And
it's definitely them.
And that's why you shop at like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Or,
So let it be known, if you go out and you see dumb people everywhere and you can't stand it, we're the same. You're just like us.
That's right. Well,
and we need to put a stop to it.
Son of a bitch. There we go. So yeah, what else is going on, I guess? I think I'm on like round 15 of cancer. Something like that. I don't know. Like
that's right. It is 15.
Chemo.
Isn't it?
Because last time you said you've completed 2 rounds of 7.
How?
And I'm like 14.
Tomorrow's Friday, right?
Yeah.
You get it out tomorrow?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Wait.
What? What happened?
Yeah.
What'd I do?
No, I got to wake up like early.
Don't do that.
Well, that's when I'm due for getting the whatever.
Yeah.
Stupid. Yeah, I'm on like 15, and I'm in a good spot.
We are still open as a bar
Yes.
because our governor won't do anything useful. It's great. I put up a thing on Facebook a couple days ago after her big announcement.
Yeah.
And I, excuse me, I haven't been on Facebook a lot, hardly at all. But for some reason, I felt like typing this whole thing out. And after like an hour or so, I just deleted it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't want this fucking attention.
Right.
Like I was just venting, and I realized that I had fallen into the trap that Facebook presents you.
Right.
You know, you want your opinion to be known. I deleted it. I was just like, I forget what I said.
I read it, and I'm like, oh, okay. That makes
Yeah.
You had some good points in there, but then I was
That's
like,
funny because William sent me a screenshot of it, and then there's a GIF from New Girl of Winston saying, "You raised some very very good points here,"
like, ugh.
and I responded to him saying that I had deleted it, and he said, "Yeah, I saw because it's showing up on my news feed, but when I click it, it's
does
gone."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
But yeah, it's basically that she's, without saying it, saying that especially bars, but businesses in general are pretty much on their own because she doesn't want to be responsible. We've talked about this bullshit before. She doesn't want to be responsible for bars being closed because then financially they are going to feel like they need some sort of help, which we already need help. But instead of closing the bars, she's saying that, yeah, you can be a bar and you can be open, but you can only be open until 10 o'clock at night. So now we're having to redo fucking everything and change our hours. And so now I'm going to be doing karaoke from like 7:30 to 9:30.
Like, awesome.
And the one thing we have going for us is that it gets dark early because people don't want to go out and drink before it's dark.
Right.
It's a thing. So
Yeah.
at least we have that. And our kitchen's open so people can come out and get food and have drinks. This isn't an ad for the place, but it's sounding like it. But I'm just like, fuck you. You know, I understand you don't want to be responsible, but what do you think is going to happen if you don't close the bars? And we're trying our best to get people to be safe and respect the non-mandate that's out there. Because she just won't fucking do it. And now, like we were talking about upstairs just before we started, it used to be that you couldn't really get together for gym classes, but now she's saying, well, you can probably get to. It's the worst it's ever fucking been out there.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
The fuck is your problem? But we can't electively just shut down because then the person that owns our building is going to say, well, you're allowed to be open and making money, so I'm going to need that money.
Like, yeah.
It's so fucking stupid.
I know. It's frustrating that we're on like the height of all these charts of like, we're ahead of other countries.
You know, Kim Reynolds would be that bitch that wouldn't move her cart at Hy-Vee.
That's it.
You know that?
That's it.
That's exactly who she would be. You know why? Because she would be standing there, and then across the way behind you would be fucking Donald Trump, like just watching her. Just be like, don't move.
What are you going to do?
Don't you move.
Don't you touch.
You make them move.
Yeah. That's it. Good analogy.
Stupid.
Yeah.
It's the best analogy.
I did come across a funny puppet show on Fox. That's because it's
Okay.
like it's
relevant.
It's relative to
I wanna hear it.
politics. I forget the name
On
of it.
Fox.
It's on Hulu. That's how I found
So
it.
it used to be on Fox.
It's on Hulu. But
Earlier
on-
you said Fox.
it is on Fox, but it airs on Hulu. Like
I accept your terms. Continue.
You know what I'm saying?
I accept. Yes.
Like SNL's on NBC, but then the next day it's
yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. Anyway, I forget what it's called, but there's one episode out, and Mom and I were hanging out, and she's like, "Whatever you want, whatever you want." I'm like, "Here's a funny puppet show." So there's like, it makes fun of Biden, and it makes fun of Trump, and it's so funny. Like,
Are they good puppets?
they're pretty good. Nancy
Nice.
Pelosi has the big eyes, And then like they make fun of Pence being in a elevator with a woman.
Of course.
And then he's calling his wife like, "Mother, I have to admit."
Do you think he's going to run for president?
It's a possibility.
Fuck that guy.
Anything's a possibility, but we'll see what happens in 4 years.
All right. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's true. But then they make fun of like, it's not all political, but it's funny because it's topical.
Yeah.
Because then they make fun of carpool karaoke. So they actually have
a James Corden puppet.
Yes, but it's not. It's not all puppets. They actually mix in celebrities with like real people.
Yeah.
So it's like it shows the James Corden puppet, which is like on point.
Nice.
And then as
and how are the voices? Are they good?
They're all right. Enough to pass. Enough to make it work. And then they had Mark McGrath in real life in the passenger seat. And he's like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe it. It is Sugar Ray in my car." And he's like, "Well, I mean, that's the name of the band, but I'm Mark McGrath." Yeah. And it was just funny. It was, I don't know, we had a good time with it.
Bringing it back to Trump, I enjoyed that season of The Apprentice.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a fun show to watch. A lot of like B-list, whatever celebrities.
Yeah.
B or C list.
Mark McGrath got busted on his wrist tattoo.
What?
Yeah, he did in the boardroom. You know, everyone's
what
like,
was it? I don't remember this.
Oh, like Donald Trump was just bitching about how he hates people with tattoos. I don't like that. So here's Mark
gives
McGrath.
A shit what you
right?
Fuck you.
That's the way it goes. But Mark McGrath was talking a lot with his hands as he does, and whatever. And
I don't know what that's like.
He did, yeah. So he did something while he was explaining it like that or something. So the sleeve kind of came down. And, "What's that? What's that on your wrist?" And he's like, you caught me.
You're fired.
Yeah. He's like, "Well, I'm in the rock and roll industry, so I mean, it's pretty normal to have a bunch of tattoos. I don't like tattoos, It's just like, okay, thanks." So I specifically remember that from when he was on it.
That like we were talking the other day.
But the little
like it would be fun to go back and watch some of those, but I just don't want to see his fucking face anymore.
Yeah, it's a little tough.
Like it's lost.
And I don't know if he's dumb enough to like
the parts with the competitions were a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to look at, and thankfully he's only there at the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Because he's a piece of shit and he was a piece of shit on the show. I just don't like, maybe I'd just cut out the ends
right.
and then I'll watch all the stuff in the middle because it was entertaining.
Schwarzenegger
and
did well,
was the one with it's a bummer he didn't do more.
Yeah.
But I guess it didn't.
But he's not Trump either.
No,
That's
he's not. He needs his own thing. Mm-hmm. He took over another dude's gig.
Yeah.
But he needs watching Arnold do something else, I think would be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Him and Sylvester Stallone. I like those guys. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember the Little John episode where
that was a great season.
That was great.
Was that with Mark McGrath?
Yeah.
That same season?
I think maybe Penn Jillette in there too. There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
But then so they made like this teleconference like thing. They had to make an ad for it.
Yeah.
And it was for like it was like basically Zoom. I don't even know what it was.
Yeah.
But they're like, "Oh, I got it." Right when they're like trying to plan and shit, they're like, "Okay, here's the guy." He's like, "I got it." Here's the guy. Comes in, he's talking to his family, and then he's talking about his new girlfriend, and then I'm going to introduce you to her, and then he pulls in a dude that was played by Jose Canseco with the big eyelashes.
Yes, yes.
So they nailed it, and it was so funny.
I remember that.
Because Ivanka comes in, and she's like the strategic manager or whatever, where they all have to like kind of check in. How we doing? And they're like, "Oh man, every time Ivanka comes in, everyone just like straightens up and hey, hi, how you doing?" And then she had like concern over, "Why are you so confident and you're just drinking wine?" And he's like, "Because I know what I'm doing." And it was funny because Little John was pretty on point the whole season.
He was great.
And he was,
and I wish he would have won.
I wish, but his fallback was when he was down to like final four.
Yeah.
And they say, who's the final three? He's like, I think Penn Jillette and this person and that person. You didn't pick yourself? Why wouldn't you pick yourself? He's like,
that was the dumbest shit.
Yeah. And then he got fired for not picking himself, being in the...
He's just looking...
Yeah. He's like, I'm answering a question, and that's my answer, whatever.
Oh, you're making me mad just like talking as him.
I know.
That was very upsetting.
But but it's usually the men versus the women.
Yeah.
And then there was this one particular... Meatloaf was in that one. And
oh my God.
He just fucking...
He was
Gary Busey.
terrible.
They were just like...
Meatloaf sucked.
I know.
At everything.
But
Like-
anyway, I remember like there was one challenge where like they had to like kind of they had to like advertise like the they had to advertise the feeling of like a Trump
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Where it was more personable kind of thing, and then he's like, "The girls are gonna take it corporate, I tell you." And it was like watching a choral reading in high school speech, where they're just like, "Innovation, technology, meh, meh," and they lost it. And it's like, good point there, Little John.
Yeah. That was a good season. I enjoyed that, but
It makes me wonder: is he gonna be dumb enough to like come up with his own show again? Or
he's gonna
or
gonna be the face of the Republican Party for a while, and that's not great for America.
I think he's gonna come out with like Trump TV and like Fox News all the time. It's gonna be an app that you download with a bunch of channels, like
I think a lot of people. Nobody cares about my opinion on this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I think a lot of people think that things are going to get a lot better quickly. And I think that some stuff will normalize. And I'm not one to say that, well, how do I say this? It's not that I'm trying to be PC here. I'm trying to make it make sense. The Republican Party, as it is, not great, but the Republican Party, the way it used to be, I don't feel like it was necessarily detrimental to our society, but it is now. And I don't understand why people don't get that. I don't, I think I was talking to you on the phone recently, and I said something like, what would it be like to be on the other side? And thinking that you're right. And so I have these times where I'm like, am I on the wrong side? But then again, if you look at things from a moral standpoint, how is it possible that what I think about these situations is on the wrong side? When you see people on the other side, not everybody, but a lot of people that won't even accept a person for who they want to be. Like, how do you not get that that's bad? Why does this person need to be what you think they need to be? And that's just one scenario. You know what I mean? When it comes to like transgender and homophobic people on the other side, it's not looking at that. How is it that the Democrats and the liberals out there are on? How is it possible that they're on the wrong side of history?
When like
Also, yeah,
we're the most inclusive
yeah,
party, I guess, or I don't know if that's, I don't know.
and I know
How to
that
phrase
that's very broad,
Yeah.
and there's other things within there. Obviously, you can have bad people that are Republicans and bad people that are Democrats as well, or that identify with that party. Also, fuck parties. Because all that's happening is that you're treating it like a sporting event.
Yeah.
And you're on this team or you're on that team. Well, my team didn't win. Fuck your team.
Right. Even though there's third parties.
How is there progress there?
No.
Yeah,
there was at one point.
but there are third parties. But
Yeah.
you don't have a third party in a football game.
No.
And that's all that we understand.
Yeah.
Good guys, bad guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cowboys, Vikings.
Yeah.
Stupid.
There was a good Jordan Klepper video out for I don't know if you heard of the $1 million or the million something march that was like recently, like last weekend.
Okay.
For Trump.
I've seen his things, but I haven't seen one of a march.
The march
Was that the one in DC?
That was the one in
That
DC.
somebody like got stabbed or
I don't know
whatever.
about that. But yeah, so this was the
think
march
that's
in
the thing.
DC this past weekend where all the Trump supporters were out and they're like, hey, we don't accept the results, blah, blah, blah. So then I see the, Daily Show Jordan Klepper thing. And it was just so funny to like, really? Oh yeah. I mean, we got a bunch of Democrats that are getting Joe Biden elected because they want to line up with the communist Chinese. It's like, what?
What are
they
you
kept
even
on,
saying?
It was so funny to watch, And it was like, no, man, there's so many dead people that voted. Oh my God.
At times you think, how many people did he interview before that person came up?
Yeah, what's the cut?
But at this point, it's like,
You believe it.
how many people are out there just to follow this person, and because they're a celebrity or what? And I'm not saying that people don't do that on the other side / our side or whatever. I'm not saying that people don't just get obsessed with, let's say if they were a big Bernie Sanders fan and they would just like fangirl out, and so obviously they're going to vote for this guy because they like him and they like some of his points and whatever, but they really don't dig in deep into some of the the issues.
Right.
But in this scenario, I believe that maybe that was the second person that he talked to.
Could be.
Because I feel like Trump attracts that kind of
demographic.
person.
Yeah. So he put into football terms. It was just,
oh, really?
Yeah. So there was a football term kind of thing where he's like, we don't accept the results of the election. He's like, okay, well, think about it like football, okay, right? You got two teams, right? Let's say the Packers are playing the Giants. Giants lose, but then the Giants stay. What if they stayed on the field and they're just like, we don't accept the results of this game, and it's like nothing's gonna happen. It's like, oh man.
But it is though. That's funny.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that video yet.
Yeah, it's
I need
fairly
to. I remember the march happening.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen any stuff about it. Except that somebody was stabbed. That I did see that. That was at the march. I don't know, man. But it is like that. If you treat something like a fucking football game and you're trying to sell t-shirts and flags and what are the triangle things that you hang up from a school? What the fuck is that called? Where it represents your school.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what
a pennant.
Yeah,
is that what it's called?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about, though.
Dude,
but I don't
know anybody. I don't know sports. Yeah. Everybody knows this at this point. I thought that's what it. But like, I wouldn't. Somewhere out there, there's probably a Trump one. Mm-hmm. And hats, obviously. Yeah. That's what it is. It's been turned into a fucking spectator sport.
Yeah. For one side.
Yeah.
Because you don't see any like I did see a couple Biden flags, but I think that was in response.
But if you don't play the game, then you're screwed.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I mean, fortunately, it appears that it has worked out in the Democrats' favor. Although, and we talked about this recently, Trump is pretending like nothing has happened and he's going to remain president. So he's just not coming out into the spotlight at all. Yeah. And he's like, well, if I pretend like I'm busy, then maybe they will just forget that in January I'm supposed to leave.
There was a press conference I did catch that was live.
Yeah.
Of a bunch of like Rudy Giuliani, and I can't name anyone else, but the Republican Party.
It's for the best.
And they were saying like, well, this is just what Donald Trump's doing. He will be the next president, and there's so many like he is fighting for all the votes, and we found there was lies in there. It was so funny. Just to be like, you have no chance. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I want to see him
it's like
being dragged out of there. I am so excited. And here's the thing: if it was,
he's delaying.
If in the future there is a Democratic president in the White House that's a piece of shit, and a Republican comes along and they're a decent human being, I'm going to wish it the exact same way. And like, let's say that the Democrat in the future, for one reason or another, because I don't really care about party. We've talked about this. I don't care about party. I just care about ideals and that you're not a piece of shit and you care about other people. That's what's important to me. And there's obviously going to be things in there that, somebody that's good with taking care of things like healthcare, making sure that basically that people are being looked after and not forgotten and not being, second fiddle to fucking corporations.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't that make sense?
Yeah. And I think we've just been too defined.
Yeah.
Because we have platforms, and if you're a Democrat, you kind of agree to these platforms of like social this, that. And if you're a Republican, you know, the anti-abortion, this and family values and religion.
Yeah.
That it would be cool if we somehow stripped that away and just listened to somebody who's just like, this is what I believe.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm sorry. I know
we took a tangent.
This is not the way that this
No
podcast was supposed to
but
go.
you know, this has been in the news, man.
This was our drugs podcast, Joe.
Drugs, okay.
And we
drugs.
brought it back to politics.
I need to get some more drugs. But yeah.
I believe in your dreams. I think you can make this happen. Everybody, let's do drugs. All right? Let's do that.
Pump it up.
Was I trying to make a point that I didn't finish?
It worked.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I start making a point and then I get lost, and you know how I am. Go ahead.
Dare would be interesting to see now that we have like way more information and kids have more access to what, like, we didn't have access to shit.
Yeah.
When I was going through Dare at 5th grade, 6th grade. But like, how many kids have seen Breaking Bad and they're bringing it up?
Yeah.
Like their Dare police officer. I still run into my Dare police officer. He's from Ames.
Really?
Yeah, he lived down the street from me when I was living with a friend of mine.
Huh.
Officer McKinney. Mark McKinney. He was so cool. Yeah. So it was just like,
that's funny.
I still see him
you
around.
You need to check in on him.
Yeah,
be
hey,
like,
dude.
you still believe all that?
Hey. What you got in your basement, bro?
Zero tolerance. We are going to go eat some chicken and watch some Legos.
Ooh.
Yeah, buddy.
Can we eat some Legos and watch some
Let's
chicken?
not do that. Oh. We've been watching the Australian Lego Masters.
A little different, but cool. Where they were in, I don't know if you guys seen the American version, but they had, the last one I saw with you was the bridge. So the American version, it was like they just put weight just right on top.
Yeah.
This version, they had a remote control truck, and they just kind of
until the truck broke down because it was too much weight.
And then they did the kettlebells and just kind of went.
Yeah. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like tonight's episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gets a little pop culture.
Pop culture.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh boy.
I'm excited.
Movie night?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because they did Lego Movie.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Well, similar, but I'm not gonna spoil it. And nobody else watches it. So
what do we got?
There's no point talking about it.
6:45. Okay.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye, everyone.
This has been The Opposite of Important, and we love you. Bye-bye.